Dear Diary, it's a big day for Arsenal Football Club as we gear up to face one of our arch rivals Manchester United in the EFL Cup Final. This is our third encounter with them this season and we are determined to come out on top after the home team won both games so far. The stakes are high and we are fully focused on bringing the trophy home even if the board say they don't care. But that's not all. We also have a crucial UEFA Champions League Round of 16 tie against Real Madrid coming up. We lost the away leg 1-0 and now the pressure is on us to turn the score around in front of our home fans. The board has set high expectations for us to reach the quarter final and we cannot afford to disappoint. I know that the next few days will be critical for our team's success this season. We have prepared well and our players are ready to give their all on the pitch. Let's hope for the best and bring some silverware back to North London. Until next time. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 91 of FMOE here on Shaun Does FM with Arsenal. I hope you are doing well and coming up today to end the week of the series we take on Manchester United in our first cup final since we have come to Arsenal. It is the Carabao / EFL Cup and off the back of that we look to turn around a 1-0 deficit in the round of 16 of the Champions League as we take on Real Madrid from the Emirates. So if you are looking forward to these two big games in today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated, but we are picking up right where we left off at the end of yesterday's episode. If you missed that one, we took on Leeds United in the FA Cup and played that first leg in that round of 16 tie against Real Madrid. I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. No more injury concerns off the back of that game. Still, Coop Miners is out for a little bit longer with a damaged foot these days. He is on his rehab program, but unfortunately might not quite be back for that second leg against Real Madrid. Definitely missing the first game of today's episode in the EFL Cup Final, where we are going to take on Manchester United. We've played these guys twice so far this season. Both times the home teams did win. First up, we beat them 3-1. Could have been by more if not for 3 penalty saves from Dean Henderson at the Emirates, and then lost to them 1-0 at the start of January. So I think for this game coming up, we are going with our tiki-taka. That's what we did use when we did beat them the first time that we did play them this season. And hopefully it does get the job done against the team who have been struggling a little bit, down in 11th on the Premier League table, and hopefully, even though the board don't care at all about this competition, we can win this final and maybe it will just build up some brownie points with the board in case we do fail one of our more important objectives for this season, such as the Champions League, if we don't make the quarterfinals as expected. And you did see Real Madrid yesterday when we did take those guys on. No doubt they'll be very similar going in to that second leg, so we'll come back shortly and get into the action. Hopefully win our first trophy in a couple of years. It's been a little while since we did pick up the championship back at Cardiff, and hopefully we can bring home the Carabao Cup from Wembley against Manchester United. And here are the team sheets for this year's EFL Cup Final. There are Manchester United. They yet again are going to be wearing the lime green, even though they are the home team, playing a 4-3-3. In terms of us, a few changes, try and keep some players fresh for that second leg of the round of 16. We've got Yakubu at left back, Singo at right back, and Trincao at left wing. Also still got Ugarte in the defensive midfield alongside Parade, and hopefully we can pick up our first trophy here at Arsenal. And just shy of the half-hour mark, first highlight in this game is a corner here for Manchester United. We do head that one away and Rashford does have the ball, starts to make his way inside the box, plays that back for Patterson. Now Vuskovic with a shot, thankfully doesn't quite dip enough, and Ugarte clears that out for another corner. But the first big chance in this one does go to the Red Devils, albeit today you could argue the Green Devils. Another corner, but thankfully Yakubu yet again will head that one away, albeit Buendia now makes his way inside the box. We start to mark him tightly, plays that back to Patterson, who passes this one all the way back to Vuskovic, and it does stay 0-0 just past the half-hour mark. And very shortly off the back of that previous highlight, now it is Manchester United with a throw-in, albeit this time inside of their own half, but so far both highlights have threatened to both be in their favour. Martinez plays that one forward for Gravenberch, poor pass, and Yakubu gets that one for us. Pere plays it back to Bamba, and hopefully we get a chance here to unleash our first decent chance of the game, albeit to be fair based on stats. We have arguably been the better team so far in this game. Saliba plays that one forward. Now Singo finds some space down that right-hand side. Back in there for Ugarte. Back to Saliba. Now Ugarte again. Poor pass to Decore, but thankfully we somehow get that back. And Singo plays that one forward to Saka. Can he fizz that one in for Jesus? Looks to cross it instead for Trincao. Maybe. Should have tried that first time. It goes over the bar. And still 0-0, a few minutes shy of half-time. And that was it for the first half in this EFL Cup Final. As you can see, we've just edged things in terms of the stats, but one highlight and some decent chances for both teams from those. Arguably, Manchester United's was actually the more threatening one. But to be fair, the way that we're playing, fairly happy with how this is going. Hopefully, might get the chance to take some of those first teamers off at some stage during the second half. Looking forward to that round of 16 second leg against Real Madrid. But we'll leave them out there for now and hopefully bring home our first trophy here at Arsenal, still 0-0 in the Carabao Cup Final. And just shy of the hour mark, Yakubu has picked up a yellow card, so I think it is time for us here to bring on some of those first team players who are on the bench. We'll bring on both of our wing backs with both Singo and Yakubu not doing too much so far today, although to be fair to Yakubu has been quite decent early on from those corners that we did see. Also, we'll try Martinelli up front instead of Jesus, and Vieira can come on for Odegaard with just over a half hour left, still 0-0. And just past the hour mark, we do get the first highlight here of the second half. It is a throw in our favour, and Trincao does receive that one from Kieran Tierney. Starts to make his way forward, unleashes a shot, but to be fair, that was quite a weak effort, and also went wide, so still 0-0 here in this one. To be fair to Man United, they have started to even up the stats in the second half. We do have the ball here from that highlight, but unfortunately give it away. Henderson starts to make his way out of the box, pumps this one deep. Kieran Tierney plays that one in for Saliba. Paul here across the box there, and it falls to Pellegrini, but thankfully a good block there. I believe that would have been from Bamba, and still 0-0 with around about 20 minutes left. And off the back of that most recent highlight, we are going to make our last substitution. We've got one left, and Trincao is down to a red heart, so Martinelli can go out to the left wing, Barrera up front, and hopefully that might be the difference maker with 20 minutes left before this one goes to extra time, and we don't really want that heading in to that second leg of the Champions League round of 16. And a few minutes off the back of that final substitution, yet again a throw in here in a similar spot to where we had that previous one, and also a few in yesterday's episode, which we did score from against Leeds United. Since then, our goal scoring touch has disappeared a little bit, albeit it's only been a game and 3/4 since then. Henderson pumped that one deep, but thankfully Bamba heads that one back to Ramsdale. Now Kieran Tierney plays this forward to Martinelli. Vieira back there to Moise Pere, steadily making his way back from that injury. Now Bukayo Saka gets in behind here, is inside the box, squeezes this one for Bere, a good chance, but unfortunately goes straight into the path of Simakan. Still 0-0 with only now around 10 minutes left. And inside the last 5 minutes of this game, it is Manchester United here who are on the attack. Hopefully, though, we can stop this one. Gravenberch yet again lose touch, and Tomiyasu will pick this one up. We have gone from a fairly narrow attacking width to a standard one, and Barea gets in behind. He goes around Henderson, and the former Real Madrid player buries that one, albeit was a fairly weak shot, but we don't mind off the back of that. We'll go back to our fairly narrow attacking width and also just start to time waste a little bit with not very long left in this game at all. But to be fair, he's actually in quite good form at the moment, having scored that hat-trick against Leeds United off the bench in yesterday's episode. Might be someone we can try in that second leg, especially against their former team. Also, we'll just calm things down in terms of some of those players' mentalities for these last few minutes off the back of us grabbing a 1-0 lead, and hopefully we can pick up our first trophy here at Arsenal. It's our first real chance to do so as well in the Carabao Cup. Barea just takes that one around Henderson and just doesn't have to get that shot off before the defender does close him down. And now we will proceed with those changes. There is a late highlight. Thankfully, just click praise in time there, because it did look like We might get something there from the restart. That is full time, and we pick up our first trophy here at Arsenal, albeit one that the board apparently don't care about, but as I said earlier, hopefully might just give us some brownie points in case we do fail in one of the more important competitions later this season. It's a 1-0 win, certainly unconvincing, but thankfully we did get the job done and get some revenge for back in January over Manchester United with a 1-0 win there in the EFL Cup Final. Martin Odegaard will lift that one above his head, and there's our first trophy of the season here at Arsenal. Potentially we are still on for a quadruple, but if we are to achieve that, we need to turn things around against Real Madrid in the second leg of the round of 16. We'll come back shortly with the team sheets for that one. And here are the team sheets for the second leg of this round of 16 tie against Real Madrid in the Champions League. 1-0 down, just 2 changes from that Carabao Cup final. Kamara in for Saliba, 2 injury prone, and also Tierney comes back for Yakubu. Unfortunately, the likes of Martinelli and Tomiyasu still quite injury prone, even though they only came off the bench in that cup final. And in terms of the rest of the players, we'll see how they do. Real Madrid look pretty similar to that previous game in yesterday's episode. For some reason, no more music there as the players start to walk out, but hopefully at home with the tiki-taka, we can turn this around and make our way through to the quarterfinals as the board expect.
Yeah.
And just over 10 minutes into this one, it's a dreadful start for us. We've got a red injury to Bukayo Saka, so we're going to have to make an early substitution here. Fabio Carvalho on for him. Hopefully it doesn't keep him out for too long, but not an ideal start. Already forced into a substitution with 80 minutes still left. And just shy of the 20-minute mark, we get the first highlight here in the second leg of this round of 16 tie. It was a throw in there for us, and we get a chance here to play out from the back. Hopefully can still do well despite the fact we have already lost Bukayo Saka. As I said, hopefully, if he has gone off with an injury, we can actually win this one. So it was worthwhile. To be fair, he was one of the players that we did start who wasn't super injury prone going into this game. So that was a little bit of a surprise. But Singo here, for some reason, doesn't look for Carvalho just ahead of him. But now we start to go forward down that side. Carvalho is on the ball. But to be fair, Real Madrid, good work there to just get him off the ball. Now Courtois plays this one forward all the way up to Victor Osimhen. This is a bit weird. And he buries that one. I think my FM's broken because that was just super weird. That better be offside because otherwise I'm going to be a bit filthy. And thankfully he was offside. That was just a really strange passage there off the back of Courtois, thumping this ball forward, thankfully just offside, but for some reason Bamba did not challenge him. Nearly cost us, but thankfully it was ruled offside. Still 1-0 down on aggregate, coming up to the half-hour mark of the second leg, but not too far off the back of that. We are on the ball here inside of the Real Madrid half. Carvalho plays that one out to Singo, starts to make his way forward down this right-hand side, plays that into the mix of Militao, heads that one out for Kieran Tierney. Jesus bundles that one over the line. We grab our equaliser, and it's actually an own goal through Antonio Silva. So thankfully, that little weird highlight before maybe not going to impact the game too much. I was just thinking there briefly, might need to restart this one because earlier on too, the music cut out rather funnily. So I thought my game might be breaking a little bit, but it might not be now because we have grabbed an equaliser just shy of the half-hour mark. And just inside the last 5 minutes of this first half, there is a throw in here to Real Madrid, which Eder Militao will take, loops that one over to Declan Rice, and they try and play their way out from the back. Poor pass there though from Valverde. Jesus tries to get that one off, but Declan Rice recovers well to block that shot. We nearly get a chance to go in front for the first time in this tie, albeit now they give the ball away to Trincao. Carvalho in behind. Poor work there from Courtois, but somehow keeps it out. Then Jesus gets bundled over. No penalty. There's all sorts going on in this first half, and it's really weird looking, but still, we have equalised. Not going to complain too much, and there is one more highlight here at the 43-minute mark as we try and make our way out from the back from a goal kick. Now Odegaard plays this one forward to Trincao, does well to keep the ball. Now Carvalho on an orange injury. Do we need to take another player off on that right-hand side? Puts that one in for Jesus, gets his head on the end of it, but unfortunately that one a little bit too close to Courtois. Still 1-1.
Yeah.
And now Wilfred Singo with a red injury. This is not going to plan at all, apart from the fact that we are 1-0 up. Tomiyasu will come on for him also. We might take off Carvalho for Martinelli, and we can switch him with Trincao out to the right-hand side. But this has been a bad first half for us in terms of injuries. And a late corner here for Real Madrid in this first half. Vinicius Jr. will find Militao. Of all the players, he was bang average in the first leg. We give him far too much space there outside the box. He finds the bottom right corner. And just like that, we are now back to being 1 goal down with only 45 minutes left. I thought we dealt with the danger there through Tomiyasu, but no one comes out for Militao. Buries that one bottom right corner. And we are going into the sheds, locked up at 1-1 on the day, but 2-1 down on aggregate. And already having used quite a few of our substitutions thanks to injuries to both Singo and to Bukayo Saka, will tell them that we can definitely do a bit better than that in the second half and hopefully grab one more goal to at least take this one to extra time. Otherwise, we are going out of the Champions League one stage earlier than the board did expect. And 10 minutes into the second half, we have got a yellow card here to Kieran Tierney. It's our last stoppage, still 2 substitutes left, so we are going to have to make both of them. At this time, we're going to bring on Yakubu for Tierney at left back, and also I think what we're going to do is probably take off Francisco Trincao on that 6.5 as we just sort out that left back situation, seeing as the game put the wrong player off the field, took off Martinelli instead of Kieran Tierney, but also Vieira will come on for Trincao with 35 minutes left. Still need 1 goal to take this one to extra time. Dum, 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 dum. And I went forward 5 minutes, and unfortunately, another stuff up in this game for me. I'm getting to the point now where I could probably replay this one because it's been an absolute nightmare. I'm not going to, but we did not actually make that last substitution. For some reason, the game didn't put Yakubu on for Kieran Tierney off the back of selecting Martinelli instead to go at left back. So we've only made 4 subs. We waste one of them. Half an hour left, still 1 goal down. And we're inside the last 5 minutes of this game now, still locked up at 1-1. Nothing's happened off the back of that most recent substitution, which was supposed to be a few, although we have gone to vertical. Tiki-taka, good chance there for Martinelli. Thought we'd try it late just in case. It can break down Real Madrid with a change of tactic, but there Courtois does make the save now. Odegaard, big corner here, albeit not too sure if I put our regular corners on off the back of that tactic change. That would probably just sum things up the way it's going in this game. Dum, 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 dum. Yeah, not the right corners, so that was another bit of a balls up from me in this one. It's not going well, but still we are right in this game as we do enter the last few seconds. Only 1 goal down on aggregate. We just need 1 goal to take this one to extra time. We'll put a few more players on positive mentalities and hopefully get something to happen in injury time in this one. Otherwise, that goal that we conceded late in injury time in the first half will prove decisive. And unfortunately, that was the case. Eder Militao scored in the 48th minute. And that means that we are out of the Champions League for this season. 2-1 on aggregate, 1-1 on the day. To be fair, that penalty that we did give away in the first league really was the deciding factor. But unfortunately, not quite good enough there at home. And we go out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals, which is 1 step earlier than the board were expecting. It's a little bit disappointing as well after finishing 4th in the league phase of the Champions League. But we go out of it very early compared to what we were expecting, albeit off the back of a little bit of a tough draw. We get knocked out by Real Madrid 2-1 on aggregate. And back in the inbox off the back of those 2 games in today's episode, have some lovely inbox items off the back of that win in the EFL Cup, but unfortunately, not quite so good looking now off the back of that loss in the Champions League round of 16. And also, we did suffer quite a few injuries during that game. But first off, we will go and have a look at the club vision and see if the board are okay with us. Still on a B rating. They are disappointed we only reached the round of 16, but understand that the team had a difficult draw, so that's good. Does mean that for now, we should not be getting sacked, but that does mean we will have to challenge for the Premier League this season and also go quite deep in the FA Cup, albeit to be fair, we are taking on Barnsley in the quarterfinals of that competition, so I think that's something that we can achieve. But that's our first failed objective in quite a while in the save. Might even be the first one of the save overall. Usually very good at meeting those objectives, but unfortunately Real Madrid got the better of us there over the 2 legs. And going back to the inbox, we do have some injuries that we are going to have to deal with, and this could make our push for the Premier League title a little bit tougher. Bukayo Saka, damaged kneecap, out for 5 to 6 weeks. So that's a long one. Also, we get 8.27 million from that round of 16. That's quite useful because finances here at the moment not in a good way, which is a little bit surprising, albeit no doubt when we get our Premier League money at the start of next season, that is going to be sorted out nicely, but also a little bit concerned because we are adding Kylian Mbappe to our wage budget for next season, but at least he has something to try and help us win now. And back to the inbox, those other injuries. Fabio Carvalho, thankfully, only 1 to 2 days with a tight hamstring. Might have been a waste of a substitution, that one. And Wilfred Singo, a hamstring strain, out for 4 to 7 weeks. So to be fair, it does mean only missing one first team player for the next month and a half. And his replacement in Fabio Carvalho is only out for 1 to 2 days. So hopefully we don't miss too much there, but still not ideal. A couple of long-term injuries coming out of that loss on aggregate. To Real Madrid, also Bamba in need of a rest as well. We might give him that as we take on Sheffield United in our next game in the Premier League. But I think that will do it for today's episode. Unfortunately, knocked out of the Champions League in the round of 16 off the back of winning our first trophy in the EFL Cup Final over Manchester United. If you did enjoy today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. We'll come back next week, and from this point forward, we've only got 2 competitions to focus on. It is the Premier League and the FA Cup. So because of that, we do take on West Ham, who beat us earlier this season all the way up in 3rd. That's probably a good game to come back for at the start of next week, and also play that quarterfinal of the FA Cup, where we should beat Barnsley from down the lower end of the championship. But hopefully, we might be able to win that competition to make up for the Champions League. And from there, we will look to round out both that competition as well as the Premier League, and maybe also get stuck into the start of the new season later next week when we do get Kylian Mbappe to join us for 2030/2031, but we'll come back Monday for West Ham in the Premier League and Barnsley in an FA Cup quarter-final. So until then, thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.